I thank God for this platform. I'm humbled by the fact that I can minister to you today. I pray that you would receive a word in season, an anointed word that will help you on your journey to be transformed into the image of Christ. My message is entitled, Peace Be Still. And I know that when we hear those words, we think about verses like Mark chapter 4, where Jesus is asleep in the stern of the boat. At this point, I would like us to look at different verses, to include other verses as well. We're going to start with Luke chapter 4, verses 14 to 30. Jesus returned to Galilee in the power of the Spirit, and news about him spread through the whole countryside. He was teaching in their synagogues, and everyone praised him. He went to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and on the Sabbath day, he went into the synagogue, as was his custom. All spoke well of him and were amazed at the gracious words that came from his lips. That's verse 22. But we see a change in the scene, which also changes the atmosphere. Isn't this Joseph's son? They ask. And then Jesus, because Jesus were ministering to them now, they were amazed at what Jesus was saying to them. They were amazed by these gracious words. But we see a turn, and now we see Jesus respond to the question, isn't this Joseph's son? Jesus said to them, surely you will quote this proverb to me, physician, heal yourself. And you will tell me, do here in your hometown what we heard that you did in Capernaum. Verse 24. In verse 24, we see him continuing. Truly, I tell you, no prophet is accepted in his hometown. I assure you that there were many widows in Israel in Elijah's time when they asked... verse 25, I assure you that there were many widows in Israel in Elijah's time when the sky was shut for 3.5 years, and there was a severe famine throughout the land. Yet Elijah was not sent to any of them, but to the widow in Zarephath in the region of Sidon. And there were many in Israel with leprosy in the time of Elisha the prophet. Yet not one of them was cleansed, only Naaman the Syrian. All the people in the synagogue were furious when they heard this. They got up, drove him out of town, and took him to the brow of the hill on which the town was built, in order to throw him off the cliff. But he walked right through the crowd and went on his way. Just imagine Jesus going back home. Jesus going back to his hometown. And there he ministers, and they are amazed. But at some point, they start to ask the wrong questions. Now they are asking themselves, is this not Joseph's son? Is this not the son of the carpenter? Is this not the carpenter's son? And immediately we see a change in the scenery. We see a change in the atmosphere. And we also see a change in the ministry at that point from Jesus. Can you imagine the people you grew up with, the people you grew up in front of, trying to kill you because you are ministering to them? You are saying things to them that they do not want to hear. They don't want to accept this word coming from Jesus. And they are doubting also his legitimacy. They heard Jesus of Nazareth. He heals people. He raises the dead. He transforms people's lives. And now he is here, but we know this one. We know this boy. I know this boy. I know. We went to school together. We ministered together. We went to school together. I know this Jesus. I know this man. He used to be my friend. We used to play together. And then everything started to change. But I want to bring your attention to peace be still. While they are trying to kill Jesus, he remained calm and he just walked right through the crowd. Jesus had a peace on the inside of him that could not be affected by the storms that were constantly raging around him. Are we allowing the storms to enter the threshold of our personal space? Are we allowing the storms of the day to come one step too close into our personal space, into this place, into this temple where Jesus reigns?